All right, we're talking strength and conditioning today after FIU football practice. Head strength and conditioning coach Chad Smith is here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the off-season program. And, Coach, first, your thoughts overall on the time period between the end of spring ball and the start of camp.
Well, honestly, I got to say it was probably the most successful summer season that we had. And I'm not just saying that just to be nice, but like just seeing them, this is my third summer with the guys, and just their accountability, their discipline, their will to take change, and that everybody showed up on their own time, and in the 9-week program, you have about 3 weeks where it's voluntary. And they showed up on their own to where we had 80% of the team here when it was just voluntary workouts. So, everybody showed up, willing to work. I think I can count on my hand probably, the amount of times I had to yell and scream something negative at them, which in the first summer, it was every day. It was like just showing them how to work. But now they have that to them now. They know what to do every single day. They know everything that has to be done to get better. And honestly, it was the best summer we've ever had.
In this off season, every year when I get together with you to talk about these guys, you mentioned some guys that maybe took strides forward. Who do you think were some of those guys this summer?
And honestly, it's kind of a tough question just because overall, a lot of guys got better. Guys that stood out, probably Dominique Rhymes, phenomenal work ethic in the weight room, always doing more. Jeremiah McKinnon, Richard Leonard, Harvey, as far as skill guys are concerned. Big skill, Janu Smith, just a freak of nature. Griner, awesome summer. Even Jordan Guest showed up. He's gaining weight. He's almost 210 pounds now. So O-line, you got to look at Budwig, Delmar Taylor, Del Soin, guys that really made a lot of strides. And defensively on the D-line, Wakefield and wonderful Mons, just guys that have a motor that you can't really coach. They just kind of just born with it. So
I think it would be no coincidence that some of those guys that you mentioned have stood out in camp. One that comes to mind is obviously Jordan Guest.
Yeah.
He's pretty much running with the starters right now at linebacker, and I would imagine the off-season program has something to do with that.
Oh yeah, and then it was he was a kid that was a developmental kid last year, so he was kind of shown the ins and outs of what he had to do for his body in the fall, and just after that last game, you could tell he was ready to play. Not ready to play, but he was willing to put the effort in. And really just bought into the weight gain because we're really hard on them, especially guys that have to gain weight. It's a rough process, and no fight in him. As far as just being negative, he wanted it and just kept going, gained his weight, got his strength up, explosiveness. Looking forward to watching him play.
You guys had a special day this offseason where you brought in the U.S. military special ops and trained these guys for a day. Talk a little bit about that and what you think this team got out of that.
Well, I've always I wanted to show them, what real was, and what a real team is. And in my humbled opinion, what better way to have the U.S. military show our guys what a team is made of. And, we had a few Navy SEALs here, a few guys from the Air Force, a few guys from the Army that all came in and just gave them a nice little leadership program, a nice little team building thing. And what I wanted them to get out of it is just, you got to be accountable for yourself, accountable to your teammates. You have to work together, and be successful. It's just not a one-man thing. You need everybody to get the job done. And those guys came in. it was probably, as me as a coach, it was one of the most humbling experiences just to watch my guys go through this, watch the SEALs train them. And it was tough now. It was a long morning grind, and the kids stood up to it, and what they got out of it was, hey, they got to be a team in order to win, and you got to have faith, you got to have belief, and at the end of the day, like the SEALs say, it pays to be a winner, and that's what they got out of it.
What time did it start at, and what exercise do you think was the most challenging for those guys?
We started 5 a.m. in the morning. A couple of guys showed up a little bit earlier than that. It was a nice little hourly long process. But I have to say probably the hardest one was just being out here on the field where it was just an actual team thing where they're all doing push-ups. They all have to turn around and follow directions, get in line. It was the field work that they did out here because, we ran, we're in the weight room, we did an obstacle course. We did a bunch of things, but the one they struggled with and really got the most out of it was the competition out here in the field.
Last question for you. When fans come out this fall to see this team, where do you think is going to be the most notable difference, whether it be physically or mentally with this team from last year to this year?
Well, I think physically, you'll see a more durable team, and in the summer, you got to get them in shape. But most importantly, you got to get them to last. It's a long process. It's a tough, stressful season. So you want them to last. And I think just how we trained them, you want them to be a jack of all trades. We didn't want them to just be fast but not strong, or endurance but not powerful. So we took the mindset we wanted our guys to last, first, second, third, fourth, and whatever, how many times we got to go, they want to be going. But I think you'll see a team that can recover a lot faster, can be a little more physical out there, and even the speed. I think you'll see a little difference in getting to the ball and getting away from defenders as we kind of lacked in the past. Mentally, though, as far as a team, I think you'll see a group that's a lot closer now, and will fight adversity. When things get bad, they've experienced a lot, and that's kind of gave them an edge to where they don't want to experience it anymore. And so they depend on each other, and they've made a will to this team, this program, to make a change and come together, and I think people will see that on Saturdays.
That's strength coach Chad Smith. We'll have more on the strength and conditioning later on FIUsports.com.